I've had an interesting kind of creative career where I've actually kind of bisected the world of design thinking and UX and the world of brand storytelling. And this is an observation that's actually led to me kind of, I guess, devising a sort of a complementary kind of method that sort of educates both sides of the fence in different schools of thought. And this is that design thinking and UX, it has strategy. It's highly strategic and researched. It has precision. It's usually about an experience that's sort of studied and iterated and moves forward, but it lacks imagination. Whereas brand storytelling or agency storytelling has strategy, it's usually researched. It lacks precision because often the executions sort of don't take into account the platform it's existing on, which could be media, it could be other things like that, but it is full of imagination. Now, I think both methodologies are a little bit broken. For instance, design thinking sometimes gets so lost in UX, gets so lost in the logic that imagination is lost, and brand storytelling has leaps of imagination that struggle to land on the platform. So I think we need to think of better methods. And I've been working on this since the start of my creative career. And I've been devising different ways in that bring people into the creative process for their insights earlier. And that involves thinking about the triggers, which are the cultural tensions that divide and unite, the external factors that change behaviour, teaming and leveraging partners, and what I call tools and totems, which are the useful symbols in tech and utility. Again, these are how I collect the dots around a problem. And I'm just going to talk a little bit about tools and totems. Particularly, totems are what I call the tattoos you can't remove. They're the things about your brand and your organisation. They're what people say about you when you're not in the room and the things you own up and need to admit to. Tools are the technology that you're using. And I love this analogy, and I've always been interested in this, which is Nintendo's philosophy of lateral thinking with withered technology. Lateral thinking with withered technology brought us the Game Boy. Junpei, the design leader of Nintendo at the time, was building the games device, and it was built out of really, really simple, almost rudimentary, antiquated, calculated technology. There was better technology out there. They could have made it colour. They could have made it far more sort of spec'd, but he didn't do that. He used the technology that was really studied and understood and allowed lots more people to kind of create software for it rapidly. And that attributes the success of the Game Boy, not Tetris, which Netflix has sort of convinced us is so about a month ago. So I found that that's kind of thinking incredibly inspiring and inspired me to do this project. Okay, here's a test. Okay, here we go.
So look, there's me.
Sorry, I'll stop looking at you.
That works. That was an app called Look Birdie that I made about 8 years ago when my kids were young. What it was basically just a photo app that made bird noises and made kids look at the camera. And all I did was just take the functionality of the iPhone and use it not for its purpose. I used the flash interactor, it was flashing, I made the speaker make bird noises, and I just used the basic sort of functionality of the flash. And it made the kids look, and its novelty and its different combination made people download it. And it also worked on dogs, and I sold it to a dog food company.